here's what you can do today to turn your marriage around, and here's why you won't do it. But also, here's something that you can do about that. So the number one thing that I have my clients do to turn things around in their marriage is to shift their focus from what their spouse, their significant other, their wife is doing or not doing, and over to who they are, and to take full stock of their life and how they are showing up as a husband, how they're showing up as a father, how they're showing up as a man, as a friend, is to really take full stock and evaluate themselves. How do you feel more fulfilled, more days than you don't? Is your environment conducive to the kind of man that you want to be? Do you have a group of very powerful, conscious male friends who value things like physical and mental health, and you can be vulnerable with them? You can share your deepest truths with them, and they won't judge you, but they can also hold you to account. Do you love what you do? Do you have a vision, a compelling vision for yourself, your life, your family? These are all things that we need to take stock of and consider, because when our relationship is falling apart, that's a symptom. That's not the disease, okay? And the biggest challenges that I have seen as it relates to a man taking stock, an inventory of himself, is number one, is humility. Humility is hard because we often associate it with humiliation. Like we're going to just be put up on stage naked and we're going to have, millions of people just laugh at you for sucking. That's not the case. All right. Humility is, I love what Michael Neal says. He says, it's not thinking less of yourself. It's thinking of yourself less. Maybe not the best example, but point is, it takes humility to be able to evaluate your performance in other critical areas of your life outside of the workforce, outside of your business. Those are observable metrics. They're tangible. Okay, we have these kind of KPIs. We're not meeting these numbers. We are meeting these numbers. And you can literally see what needs to improve in order to improve. And the second challenge is directly correlated to the first, in that it is a man's relationship to shame. You see, shame will have us believe that we as men are fundamentally flawed and unlovable. And when we internalize that shame, then we will begin to identify with that feeling. And then we will feel like we're constantly living in a minefield. We are walking on eggshells around everybody because we don't want the world to find out just how big a piece of shit we are, how fucked up we really are, how gross or perverted or any of these other things. We are terrified of being found out and seen. And so what do? We put on a mask. And that mask keeps us from getting close to people. And we want to be close to this woman. And so what we tend to do is we tend to project. She's not doing this. She is not showing up this way. She's not meeting my needs, blah, 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 blah. When in fact, you're not doing that for yourself. Do you even know what your emotional needs are? Name your top 3. And so, taking stock, taking inventory, that is the first place that we begin. But it takes a great deal of humility, and it takes looking at the man in the mirror long and hard, and objectively identifying what you see. And things are going to come up. You are going to be so mean to yourself. And you are going to judge yourself very, very harshly. And the voice, that inner voice of your father, your mother, your foster parents, your abusers, whoever, that inner critic that is constantly on repeat inside of our skulls, that is getting us to feel so horrible about ourselves and constantly judge ourselves and the world around us. It's going to scream at you. But if you can just hold that out, and you can really, really look and return to the truth, that begins the journey to changing and becoming more of who you want to be, rather than who you have become on autopilot or reactively to the world around you, to your childhood traumas, to your upbringing. And then you will begin to feel more like yourself. And then you can reveal yourself in moments of conflict. You'll begin to reveal yourself in moments of intimacy. And she will see who you truly are. And then you can make an informed decision as to how you wish to engage in this relationship. Because you are no longer hiding. You are taking responsibility for you, your life, and the way that you show up. That is a hard thing to do for a man. Because society will have you believe that you are unnecessary, that you're fundamentally flawed, that you're toxic. But you're not. You're not. It's an illusion. But it's one thing to hear that on a video on TikTok. It's another thing to really see yourself, humble yourself, accept yourself, which is why it is so important to have a safe person in your corner. If you don't have that, if you do not have a safe person in your corner, there are people, there are counselors, there are coaches, there are therapists, there are other people who, if they pass the vibe check, can absolutely help you on that step one of the journey of really looking at yourself. I myself am very honored to have done that for a lot of men over the course of my career in the last 5 years. And I invite you, if this resonates, to reach out and let's have a conversation. Let's see if, we pass each other's vibe checks, and if you would like support in facing, feeling, and healing yourself so that you can reclaim your personal power and you can show up as who you truly are in your home, in your relationship. You can begin the process of creating the relationship that you want, not the one that you are tolerating right now.